the Indian Space Research Organization, is headed towards a soft landing on the moon with the launch of Chandrayaan-3. The separation of the lander module from the propulsion module is expected today. ISRO completed a lunar-bound maneuver yesterday and is ready for the separation from landing module comprising Vikram and propulsion module known as Pragyan, the rover. The spacecraft is ready for its landing on the moon on the 23rd of August. With the launch of Chandrayaan-3, India gets placed on the track to become the fourth nation globally to achieve this remarkable milestone and will join the US, Russia and China. Now, the mission was launched on 14th of July from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Andhra Pradesh's Sriharikota. Joining us at this point is Dr. V.N. Jha, former ISRO scientist. Dr. Jha, a big day today for the Chandrayaan-3 mission.
Uday, thank you very much for having me here. I'll just correct you. I'm not ISRO scientist. I'm DRDO scientist. But
okay, we'll get that corrected. Yes.
Matters apart, this is a very important milestone in the preparations for the landing, because after the module separates out, right now everything is together. The propulsion module combined with the Chandrayaan-3, that is the lander and the rover within it. This is all right now combined, and the entire maneuvers, the ignition of the motors, burning of the motors, communication, everything is being handled by the propulsion module that has got all the things. The Chandrayaan-3 module, that is the lander, only after it separates out, then its own system will be revived, and there are many things that ISRO will have to test. After this separates out, the separation will be, it may range anything from few hundred meters to a few kilometers. But these two will continue rotating around the moon for maybe a day or two. And in this time, what ISRO will do is the Chandrayaan-3 module, that is the lander, it will be tested for many things. First is that its motor must start the burning of the motor for maybe a second or two. It will be tested so that it can be controlled. Mind you, it is throttleable. That means we can throttle, ISRO can throttle these engines to 100% or to 10%, whatever throttle it wants. That is one. Secondly, the module will be tested for its communication. The lander module will communicate right now with the propulsion module. Propulsion module sends the same signal to the Deep Space Network, IDSN, and from there it will come to the ground station of the ISRO. That is how it is designed to. But this time, Chandrayaan-3 module also has got a redundancy that should propulsion module not communicate or something go wrong with the propulsion module, then Chandrayaan-3 will communicate with the earlier sent orbiter 2. Remember, 3 years back, Chandrayaan-2 was launched, out of which the orbiter 2 is still orbiting there and absolutely in healthy conditions. So, Chandrayaan-3 module will also test its communication with the orbiter 2, and orbiter 2 again sends a signal, deep space network, and from there to the ISRO on the ground station. So all these communications will be tested, the cameras that will be tested, and there are another few small delicate maneuvers that will be tested. And then only after another few days, the orbit of Chandrayaan-3 will be lowered further. Right now it is 153 into 163. 153 is the closest point, and that will be lowered in the coming days to about 100 or so with a minimum of 30 kilometers. So it will go to the new orbit of the lander before it actually goes for the landing, will be in that 100 into 30 kilometers or so for a couple of days. And on the day when the sunrise happens at the landing spot, that is the South Pole, 69 point certain degree south. So when the sunrise is expected there, then the landing is scheduled to be there, and that landing process is entirely computerized and handled by the module itself. Because we must remember that when it comes for landing, the reaction time is for any correction is very, very less. So we cannot expect ISRO center to send the communications and that will act. It takes almost about 4 seconds. So that time is very, very crucial. So that part of landing is absolutely automated. Chandrayaan-3 will descend to the landing spot for a soft landing, totally computerized. And that part, of course, will be shown to us live. And in case if it is possible, even the camera fitted in the Chandrayaan lander module will be active during this process of landing, and we may be able to see the entire moon from very close quarters of the camera. So let's hope everything goes well, and I wish ISRO the very best of all. Uday.
Okay, Group Captain Jha, stay with us. Let me quickly also join Dr. Srimati Kesan at this point, founder and CEO of Space Kids India. Dr. Kesan, big day today for the mission of Chandrayaan-3 as it reaches closer to its landing date. What are your expectations from how the day is likely to process and progress?
Well, we were all waiting for all the maneuvers to get completed. Every bit was like a baby delivery. That's what I can attribute as a woman. It was so very sensitive. And today is a very, very big day because the propulsion module should start working and, start sending signals, and also identification of where this has to land. That's a very, very important point because we are in 163-kilometer orbit, so we have to lower our orbit and we have to get into the 100-kilometer orbit, and then slowly, as slow as possible, we are supposed to be landing because it is a soft landing on the moon that we are expecting. And this time, of course, there were so many discussions yesterday that the final maneuver should have happened, and the 100-kilometer orbit should have been attained and all that. But I think ISRO is absolutely prepared, even if it is 150 kilometers orbit. So they probably will have a small burn, an extra burn to reduce this velocity and then come as close as possible. So it's an extremely critical, I think, from today until 23rd, it's extremely critical. And as we say, that last 15 minutes is even more critical when it has to land on the 23rd at 5:30 p.m. So all these things, we are in a war room, I should say, and more so, Uday, I always keep looking at, following with Luna 25 also. We are heading towards, most economical mission, and landing on the 23rd. Everything was set 40 days prior, and Luna mission was delayed for 2.5 years. And now it is, propelled, and, it is almost going to be landing on the same day. I think, as a lay person, I would say that, we should be landing on the moon first before the Luna 25. It's the excitement that we have created. And South Pole predominantly, we are the people who've been talking about it, and we are the people who actually initiated this whole momentum of going to the south and finding the water crystals and all the minerals and everything. So I don't think we need another competitor now to go along with us. So we are waiting for more, footages the camera will be sending to us. And, so hopefully that we are able to...
Okay, Dr. Kesan, stay with us. We are now opening it out to our viewers as well. Our viewers watching the show this morning now can call in and share their thoughts on this big development on the mission. Can also ask any questions they may have for our panelists, our experts on the show. In fact, we already have a viewer joining us now. Manjit is calling in from Mumbai. Manjit, please go ahead.
Yeah, what time is the next maneuver planned for today?
Okay, you have a question for our panelists about what time that maneuver is expected, what time it's likely to be successful by. Hopefully, Group Captain Jha, would you like to answer that? Group Captain Jha, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, it should be any time now. Manjit, it should be any time now. ISRO is already on the task, and when it goes around the moon, there is a window period of operations because it should be in the direct line of communications with the IDSL. So it will be on the task. They will work out what time it should separate out because after it is ejected, right now it is coupled. The propulsion module and the lander module, these two are coupled right now. All firing, all ignitions, all motorized operations have been happening through the propulsion module. So these two will eject each other, and it will be separating out. This separation will go for some distance, about at least a kilometer or so or more, and then it will continue rotating around. So this is a small operation, but it is only the beginning. This separation is only a beginning of a series of tests onto the lander about its health, about its all control systems, about its sensors. Everything subsequently will be tested in another 2 days. So that is the beginning, and ISRO, I believe, is already on the task. They will be operating with this and will let us know as and when this separation happens.
Okay, we have another viewer now joining us. Cyrus is with us from Mumbai. Cyrus, please go ahead. Okay, I think we've lost that connection with Cyrus there, but our phone lines are open. Our numbers are flashing there on the bottom of your screen. You can call in, share your thoughts on this big development, ask your question to our experts. It's a big moment as, of course, the Chandrayaan-3 mission continues. Okay, we have another viewer now joining us. Neelam is calling in. Neelam, where are you calling in from? And please go ahead.
I'm calling from Faridabad, Haryana.
Okay. Please go ahead. Share your thoughts or ask your question.
I'm just feeling great कि हमारा देश मतलब इतना ऊंचाई पे जा रहा है, तो I just feel like I should call you and thanks to ISRO and all your team.
Okay, बहुत गर्व आपको महसूस हो रहा है. Neelam there wants to congratulate ISRO. She's feeling very proud as an Indian today, Dr. Kesan, and I think that's reflective of 1.2 billion of us.
People were talking that, this is like an IPL match, watching an IPL match, or India versus Pakistan, if I have to be all the more specific, where the entire nation is sitting together in front of the television sets and watching this. But I think it has gone beyond the matches. The entire nation, every little child, who is aspiring to be an astronaut or a space scientist looking up to the space, wants to know every bit of detail about what is happening there around with Chandrayaan. And, I was flying yesterday from Mumbai. You should see there are so many people in the airport, in the lines, discussing about the maneuvers and all that, though they are not, from the science stream. They're so excited about this whole thing. I think this pride of the nation plays a very important role. And we are so happy that we are in this fraternity.
Well, yes, you should rightly feel proud. Let me bring in another viewer now. Sudhir Singhal is joining us from Delhi. Sudhir, please go ahead.
At what time it will be separated from the lander?
So that is expected any moment now. The confirmation could come in very, very shortly, isn't it, Dr. Kesan? You can answer that. Our viewer, they're very curious about when we could hear some good news.
Yeah, most probably around 2:30 to 4:30 is what is the window that we are looking at.
Okay, so it's slightly later. That means today afternoon is what you're saying it will happen. Dr. Kesan?
Yes, sir. Yes. In post-lunch, 2:30 to 4:30 is the window that we are looking at.
Yes, and how crucial is this maneuver? Just help explain it for us, Dr. Kesan.
Well, this maneuver is absolutely crucial because this lander is, the communication box for us. And this has to send information, for what is happening. In a lay language, if I have to explain to you, this propulsion module has to burn, the maneuver has to happen. There has to be a separation happening with the lander module. And this will act as a communication hub for us. So whatever the lander is going to be doing, it has, the parameters where it is going to be landing, how the terrain is going to look, all these information, bundles of information, tons of data has to be passed on through this module. And this will reach the deep tech We have it close in Europe and UK. We've got a couple of deep tech stations wherein all this information will be passed, and that information will come to the ground station. ISTRAC will be tracking it from Bangalore, and we will be receiving that. So this is a circular orbit, I should say, internally there in the moon that is happening, as well as externally for the communication. It is easy for us to understand easily. And this lander has got sensors. The lander has got sensors on its foot, and the legs, so that they see that the terrain is absolutely serene, without any boulders, without any craters. It is as comfortable to the landing. So all these things are very, very crucial from today until 23rd. It's going to be a very, very crucial time for all of us.
Absolutely, it certainly is. Okay, our viewers can continue to call in. Our numbers are flashing there on your screens. You can call us, share your thoughts, wish the mission the very best, ask your question to our experts who, of course, continue to be with us as well as we build to that moment when we hear the confirmed news of the separation. But so far, all the boxes being ticked off, isn't it, Dr. Jha?
When it has been orbiting the moon for last 3 years, it has selected few spots. This spot right now, 69.3676 degree south and 32.3481 degree east, is a spot which has got about 4.5 square kilometer area, which is looking to be plain. But I must remind you that what looks plain from 100 kilometers altitude may not be actually plain. The moment it comes for landing and the dust is kicked out, it may not be a plane. So that is why a fairly good amount of area has been chosen as a flat, almost about 4.5 kilometers area, into which lander will decide where to land. Soft landing, it will come very close. It will hover. Remember, there is no atmosphere. It is only the jet propulsion engine of the lander that will be active. So it will hover. This time there is plenty of fuel that ISRO has given to the lander, and it will hover around, and then it will maneuver itself to the nearest place where it can do the soft landing, where the camera underneath will detect that yes, it is a flat ground. There are the radio altimeters also to decide. So all these corollary parameters will tell lander to make a decision where to land, and that soft landing will be is scheduled to be very, very smooth, because this time they have kept the margin of error very small, in the sense that the vertical landing speed will be less than 2 kilometers. The inclination will be almost about, say, 12 degree or so.
30 degrees.
So it is a very well scheduled, very well controlled parameter within which it will be landing. And further, there are the shock absorbers given to the legs, that even if it is slightly hard, that damper are there for the vibrations or the acceleration. It will damp for the soft landing. So all these are in place. Now, this spot is already known, and even the trajectory is already formed. ISRO has got plan A and plan B in place. So plan A, this is the spot, 69.3676 degrees south and 32.3481 degree east. That is where it is landing. Remember, Russia also has sent its craft. That craft is also landing almost around the same. That is also landing around 70 degrees south and 42 degree east. That is about, say, about 400 kilometers east of where our landing spot is there. So it is a fairly well exercised maneuver that ISRO has been onto the task, and it is only a matter of time that if that thing happens. And it is supposed to be very, very smooth, because it is the computerized control. Last time also, you remember, we had seen how the lander descended from the altitude. It came absolutely copybook style. Every blip came on the track that it was supposed to be there. till about, say, 14 seconds before we lost the signal, there was a tug of war between the control system and the path. But thereafter, it again regained control to have lost it just before the landing. So all those copybook things we have seen of the ISRO, and I'm absolutely convinced that ISRO has planned the similar type of copybook type of landing. And there are the many other sensors given for obtaining the parameters. Should one go out, the next corollary parameter or the redundancy is enshrined into the entire control system. So all these will take care of the soft landing. We are absolutely convinced that it is going to happen as it is scheduled. Uday.
Absolutely. Let me bring in Sudhakaran S, who also joins us now, CEO QGates Technologies. Sudhakaran, your expectations from this big day for the mission today and the separation expected very, very shortly.
As far as I am given to understand, I think the separation was expected to be happening around 10:30 or so in the morning.
Yes.
And I think the rocket is around 150 kilometers approx from the actual landing surface where it is intended to launch. The interesting thing is now we have a competition of sorts from fellow Russians who just though launched it on August 11th, but they are slated to land 2 days ahead of us. And I don't know whether it was by design or default, but then the race is heating up. So there will be not one, there will be a companion for the Pragyan, which will be exploring in the south, and hopefully it will be a friendly mission wherein both of them will augment the information that they are going to gather. So let's keep our fingers crossed, wait and watch, because Chandrayaan-2 did achieve a lot, but for the last minute, that we call the moment of death, as we call, the last 15 minutes or so, that's where things went wrong for Chandrayaan-2. But we have done some extensive simulations on Earth, and I think we are well prepared. And this time, considering that we are attempting a fathom or soft landing with the retro rockets and the parachutes which are on board, I don't see any possibility of major failure unless and until
yes,
the nature has something else to play for us.
Okay, Sudhakaran, stay with us. We have Vijaya Kumar joining us now, another viewer from Bengaluru who's calling in. Vijaya, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Mrs. Vijay Kumar. My first name is Vatsala. I'm so excited to know that everything is going as planned, and God will surely help for a safe, soft landing today. Thank you.
Vijaya there, extremely excited, very proud, very, very excited, looking forward to, of course, the successful news that hopefully will come in very, very shortly. We have another viewer now joining us. Mahesh is also calling in from Bengaluru. Mahesh, please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning to everyone. It is very, very exciting, and it is a proud moment being an Indian to say such good things about our own scientists and our own fraternity. It's very exciting, and I wish we do a successful landing on the moon, and it will be a great, great day for us. 23rd should be celebrated very, very proudly as an Indian. And it is a great program that you guys are doing, and it will be a fantastic moment for all of us. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you for joining us, Mahesh, with your view there. Ramamurthy now joins us from Pune. Ramamurthy, please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning to you. It is going to be one of the very historic moments for the country, and the entire country is so proud of our scientists and achievements. So my only humble request to the politicians of India not to politicize these kind of issues, because the country is one. There's no politics in this kind of an achievement.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.